We have joining us this morning the mayor of New Bern, Dana Outlaw. Let's talk here for a few moments about what precipitated a demonstration this weekend at Union Point Park. What initiated the conversation about a memorandum of understanding?
Well, Lockwood, I don't know how much time we have, but I'm going to just kind of bring it in for a landing here. We were at a point in talking with a developer, Kessler Properties, Savannah, Georgia, Orlando, Florida. We were at a point where we needed to make public aware of the interest of Kessler in bringing tremendous economic boost and opportunity to our city. Elks building been sitting there vacant for 20 years. We're talking 70 jobs, $120,000 tax revenue. A building that's worth about $849,000 on the tax rolls. He's going to spend $25 million on it. There were going to be. We certainly hope he still will do that. It was 7 jobs, $87,000 average, a total of 59 jobs. Then he was looking at a vacant lot kind of near the convention center, and building some upscale retail and apartments or condominiums. About $72,000 in revenue off of that. $20 million investment. And the third phase of it was the portion of the park which totally required approval by the National Park Service, state and national level, of a similar park amenity package somewhere else in New Bern. 90 jobs, $361,000 tax revenue. 78 jobs paying over $100,000. 11 jobs at $52,000 average. The lowest price salary range was $16 an hour. So anyway, we all the time, just like the county did with White River when they purchased Hatteras. The mayor of the city of New Bern, I think, 3-4 days before the big announcement at Hatteras, knew about it, and the reason being is that these situations, when the county and the city are trying to bring prosperity to Creighton County, every negotiation is a different negotiation. And I'm good that the county did a tremendous job in attracting that type of an investment, 500 jobs at Hatteras. And a lot of times these situations are negotiated, and the minute somebody calls me on the phone, I can't go to the press and say, Johnny Jones just called me from Memphis, Tennessee, and there's a point you do that, and the MOU was a precursor way, way, way before any public hearings, anything. It was just a time to make the public now aware of where we are, that the due diligence period of the investigation on Mr. Kessler's part, of New Bern, of demographics, of the branding campaign we had, all these things, he's looked them over, infrastructure needs, etc. And now we were all ready to put on paper with an MOU, which an MOU is simply non-binding, requirements of both parties, responsibilities, willingness to move forward with further negotiations and talks, and essentially, when you're doing something, it's a starting point. That's all we were doing, and we love our city. We love everybody that has got a pro and a con position on this. And New Bern has always been at its best when we all are working together. So the city of New Bern is very, very concerned about the concerns of our residents, and we're attentively listening to that. We have made Mr. Kessler aware, and of course he's watched all this nowadays with Facebook and everything else. So I can't tell you where we are right now. I certainly hope after 20 years of the Elks building being vacant that he spends the money there and maybe does the Talbert's lot. But it looks to me like right now, and I'm supposed to be a person that polls and has the heartbeat of New Bern, and I seriously, from what I'm seeing, I don't know that that'll ever happen, even though there are so many checks and balances that an equal part would have to be established somewhere, Shriner's property or wherever else. So that's kind of where we are. Once the MOU is out there and we start getting public response to it, good or bad, part of the MOU is the opportunity to gauge public reaction to something. Again, it was the start of a process. It was nowhere near the normal incremental process of a White River acquisition, et cetera. It's a place where both parties have enough facts that we can then go to the public. Again, willingness to move forward, starting point. That's an MOU. But I do want to say that there's a lot of positives out of this, even though I seriously have concerns that this would ever happen at Union Point because of the public outcry. But from that, Lockwood, I realize more and more in New Bern and Craven County that the two recreational systems need to merge because, you know, I'd say 75% of the concerns are from non-New Bern city limit residents, which is a good thing because, you know, those residents throughout our county, they spend money, they use the services in New Bern, and this park is just as important to them, and it's as important to me that it's important to them and that they use it because, you know, New Bern is just the heart of Craven County, and New Bern would not be what it is without the sales tax and the other revenue sources that our county residents bring in. And so, you know, I hear the county residents, I hear the city residents. I think that, you know, we need to look holistically at recreation in Craven County because a large number of the residents that I'm hearing from don't live in the city, and I welcome their concerns, and I certainly include in the discussion and reconciliation of where we go with this. But you know, we haven't heard from our residents in years. The last time I heard this was sitting in a Rotary Club meeting in the mid-'80s when they were going to propose to knock down the women's building in Union Point, which they did, and that they were going to totally change the road network and the way the stacking to go launch your boat at the point where the gazebo is, which nobody wanted to change. The way to get your boat out after a day's out boating was different, which nobody wanted to do. And so, you know, there was a tremendous outpour of please don't tear the women's club down. Please don't move the launch area. Well, the end result was they made some much better launch areas at Lawson Creek Park. They left one which is still not the easiest place to launch a boat at Union Point because of the confluence of the Trent and Neuse Rivers. So, you know, the good is that the Swiss Bear got behind this thing, and the park is where it is now. This was just another opportunity to bring in an art gallery, much better public use, public restrooms incorporated into a hotel. And this is all well and good. It's just discussion. It's an MOU. It's non-binding. But we have a city manager that is a former recreation director, and he was our recreation director. So New Bern is in a great location as far as natural amenities. We're on the Mountains to the Coast Trail. Our Martin Marietta Quarry is on that. And so, you know, we just are going to continue to work and listen to our citizens. And part of the process was we were both at a point with our information. We wanted to get to know them. We went to Savannah and talked with them. But I do want to say in this whole process that this entire agenda item was put on there by Dana Outlaw. It was not the alderman. Right. It wasn't the city manager. It wasn't the attorney. It wasn't the staff. I asked for it to be put on there.